compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of this meeting of the Atlantic County Board of Chosen Freeholders was provided in the following manner. Published in the Press of Atlantic City and mailed to the Current, the Daily Journal, the Hamilton Gazette, the Hamilton News, and have been posted on the bulletin boards in the County Office Building in Atlantic City, the Stillwater Building in Northfield, and the County Clerk's Office in Mays Landing. We could all please rise for an opening prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, in whom we live and move and have our being, grant unto us purity of heart and strength of purpose, so that no selfish passion may hinder us from knowing thy will and no weakness from doing it. Amen.
Amen. Amen. All right, if we could face the flag. Attention, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk, the roll, please.
Bennett. Here. Bertino.
Here.
Horsey.
Present.
Days.
Here.
Fitzpatrick.
Here.
Formica.
Here.
Kern.
Here.
Risley.
Here.
And Gatto.
Here. You've all had the opportunity to review the minutes from the August 27th, 2019 meeting. If there's no corrections, I'll entertain to adopt the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Okay. Next, we will next we go into resolutions. Okay. Number 512, we need to have an actual formal motion to place this on the agenda because it was withdrawn. So do I have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Now we'll have 512.
Renewal bid contract with Aramark Correctional Services Incorporated for the provision of laundry services at the Atlantic County Justice Facility, amount not to exceed $135,036.
Moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Any freeholder comments or questions?
Madam Chair, just
Freeholder?
for my information, why was it pulled, Jerry?
It was pulled because the original put the same money that was from the contract from last year, and they're allowed to put in a CPI. So it's 2.3%, and that's the difference of roughly $3,000 or something.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other freeholder questions? Okay, seeing none. Any questions from the public? Seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 560.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety for the Sexual Assault Nurse Examiner, Forensic Nurse Examiner Program. Grant funding, $86,942. County in-kind match, $21,736.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any freeholder questions on that one? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 561.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of Law and Public Safety, Division of Criminal Justice, Office of Victim Witness Advocacy, Victims of Crime Act Program, Sub-Grant Award, $653,456. County in-kind match, $352,673.
Second. Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Horsey.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 562.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Department of State, Division of Elections for the Help America Vote Act 2018 Election Security Grant for the installation of a temporary handicap ramp at the Thai School in the city of Margate, amount not to exceed $10,492.
Moved.
Second. Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that one? Comments from the public? Yes, sir.
Creed Pogue, 169 Cumberland Avenue. Just to make sure I preface it by saying I'm not at all opposed to this, but was wondering, are there any other sites that have been noted by the Board of Elections as needing, in essence, ADA attention at this point?
I think Jerry will answer. I know we've done things throughout the years
Right.
As they've come up. If you want to finally answer.
Well, there's a law that says the county executive is supposed to appoint what they call voting accessibility committee. a committee reviews every single location, and over time, they've made the adjustments. This particular adjustment is being made because they wanted to separate, you saw, seniors and younger kids from the rest of the population. So that's what this is. It's a temporary ramp on the back of the high school.
Does that answer your question?
So that's basic, so that was basically the only thing left
That
on
was
the
the only,
punch
that
list?
was the only one
Okay.
that they required.
That's
They've
presently
applied for other
presenting an
money
issue.
during the year, so I mean, they made other adjustments.
Thank you.
Jerry said the high school building. High school.
Aye.
Gotcha.
Okay, any other questions from the public? Okay, seeing no more roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 563.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Historical Commission for the 2020 County History Partnership Grant, funded amount $2,045, county cash match $2,045.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any freeholder comments on that one? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica. Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 564.
Chapter 159, United States Department of Health and Human Services Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, enhancing first responder access to overdose treatment, 19 to 23, $500,000.
Second.
Motion and a second. Freeholder comments on that one? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, I think we can combine and adopt the next two.
Move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Freeholder comments on those two? Okay, comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 567.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement between the Atlantic County Sheriff's Office and the Atlantic County Special Services School District for the provision of a school resource officer, amount not to exceed $81,984.54, revenue generating.
Motion and a second. Freeholder comments on that? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 568.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with A. Carver Township for the purchase and installation of a replacement culvert, EH 172, along West Jersey Avenue, amount not to exceed $35,000.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Freeholder comments on that? Comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 569.
Intergovernmental Services Agreement with the Casino Reinvestment Development Authority to support public safety initiatives in the tourism district, amount not to exceed $135,000.
Move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Freeholder comments on that one?
Yeah, Madam Chair.
Yes, Freeholder Board.
Through you to the, why is it coming through Freeholder Board for the tourism district?
Well, I'll let- So you understand that the city was going to hire class twos to participate in security in the city. I'll turn it over to Mike now, because Mike went to CRDA to see if they would be willing to help fund the training, so.
Chief White asked us to, if we would train 40 police officers this year, which are going to go to the tourism district, which we did. And he called me about 2 weeks ago. We're going to do another 25 the beginning of January, and they're all supposed to be in the tourism district.
So we're training them. They're paying for the training.
We're training police officers. New
And
police officers.
And CRDA was paying for the class twos, and so.
I
Mike-
guess, I think that was my.
Right, and then Mike asked, well, if you're paying to hire them.
I get it now, okay. It's a little complicated, I have to ask Chief White from which comes this deviation on, but okay. I got it. Because
Okay.
we just did 2 classes, correct? Did 2 classes graduate already?
We did 2. We're doing another one in January.
And they look good out there at the college, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
great.
Any other freeholder questions? Okay, comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Creedy.
no, just to clarify, the money's coming from CRDA to the county?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay, that's what, all right, thank you.
it's a reimbursement.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, any other questions from the public? Okay, roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino. Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Tamika.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 570.
Renewal intergovernmental services agreement with the New Jersey Administrative Office of the Courts for the provision of support services to the state. Amount not to exceed $66,148 revenue generating.
Move.
Second.
Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that one. Comments from the public. Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 571.
Amended shared services agreement with the City of Ventnor for the provision of information technology services to extend the term date. Net increase $8,561.20.
Second.
Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that. Comments from the public. Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 572.
Emergency contract with R.A. Walters and Son Incorporated for the replacement of failed piles for the Underhill Park Bridge, HML-34, in Mays Landing. Amount not to exceed $75,800.
Moved.
Second.
Motion and second. Freeholder comments. I said my piece at the budget meeting on that one, so I won't say it again. Any comments from the public? Okay, roll call.
You said the budget.
I said that I wish we had looked back at work we had done on the bridge previously, so we might have been able to anticipate the
Yeah,
issue we ran into. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi. Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 573.
Resolution authorizing a project labor agreement with South Jersey Building and Construction Trades Council for the proposed construction of Cotton Mill Bridge, HML-54, in Mays Landing and Nicote Creek Bridge, PR-07, in Port Republic, no cost.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any comments on that from the board? Comments from the public? Okay, roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, and we'll now be going out to bid on that, Chair, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. 574.
Agreement with Mazer Consulting consenting to assumption of a professional services agreement previously awarded to Craig Testing Laboratories Incorporated for the provision of material testing services for various dam and transportation infrastructure-related projects, no cost.
Move.
Second. Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that. Comments from the public. Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 575.
Resolution authorizing the sale of obsolete computer and telephone equipment, furniture, and vehicles through a public online auction pursuant to NJSA 48:11-36 revenue generating.
Moved. Motion and second. Freeholder comments on that. Comments from the public. Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 576.
Agreement with Rutgers University for the provision of the Cooperative Extension Program, amount not to exceed $230,280.
Move.
Second. Motion and second. Any freeholder comments on that? Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
I saw that this was salaries for the cooperative extension for this calendar year, January to December, and I wonder
Yes.
why we are just getting that now.
It's because Rutgers is very slow with giving us, you know, we go and negotiate this, so you know, and like right now, when we start our budget, can't get Rutgers to move the budget any quicker from their side. So, in effect, they get paid, you know,
Right.
just so you understand, most of them are getting paid through Rutgers. We pay a percentage of salaries, so they get paid from Rutgers, and what it is we pay the balance. You have to wait for them to give you the contract. They're a tough group.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Any other freeholder questions? Okay, comments from the public? Roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 577.
Grant application and acceptance from the New Jersey Office of Homeland Security and Preparedness for the federal fiscal year 19 Federal Homeland Security Program. Amount not to exceed $275,381.62.
Second. Motion and second. Freeholder comments or not? Freeholder Formica?
Through you, Madam Chair, to Jerry,
Yes, sir.
what are the authorized uses or line items that this grant can be used for?
Well, we certainly the computer equipment right now, and we pay for the maintenance of that system that they presently set up. Then there's additional equipment that police have asked for.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason for my question. We get a lot of requests through the years from different police departments for different types of equipment, and usually it comes from, you know, this Homeland Security.
That's right.
So is this money already received? Is it earmarked?
It's, yes, they have to have a budget in order to get this money. That's
Okay.
correct, right.
All right, thank you.
Okay, and one of the things we noted in the budget meeting was this money, the quantity of the money is going down significantly every year, unfortunately. Okay, any other freeholder questions? Okay, seeing none, comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, roll call vote.
Bennett.
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Corsi.
Yes.
Days.
Yes.
Fitzpatrick.
Yes.
Formica.
Yes.
Kern.
Yes.
Risley.
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, 578.
Resolution recognized October 6, 2019 as Knockout Opioid Abuse Day and supporting the efforts of Join Together Atlantic County Coalition for continuing to work to bring awareness and education to the community regarding opioid addiction in our community. Sponsors, freeholders Ashley R. Bennett and Karen L. Fitzpatrick.
Moved.
Second. Motion and a second. Freeholders, do you want to just highlight your resolution quickly?
Sure. We were approached to bring forth this resolution by Join Together Atlantic County Coalition, outlining their work that they're doing in combating opioid addiction in our county. And I think it's commendable to have Knockout Opioid Abuse Day on October 6th. I think we all just got trained, Narcan trained today, and that needs to continue throughout the county. We're making that great effort. And we have a couple members here, and I'd like, if everyone is agreeable, to have them talk about some of the work that they do. If they would come forward to the podium.
I work in
Okay,
my.
can you guys give us your names so that we know who you are?
My name is Thomas Egan. I go to Pima Regional High School.
And I'm Carlo Favoretta Jr. I work with Atlantic Prevention Resources.
I'd just like to thank the Freeholder Board for helping us pass this, because it's been a big help for us trying to spread the word. I've seen so many kids on between posts or in the school, our school in general, that just can't stop. I've seen people trying to stop but just can't. But we've done so many presentations. We've gone to places. We went Wildwood Convention Center, Stockton. We just went to I Play America, where it's, we just announced our the YTAG, our Youth Tobacco Action Group, which is now incorruptible us. It's around the state, and I just thank you guys for helping us pass this.
Yes, thank you very much. So we facilitate through Join Together Atlantic County the group Stand Up and Rebel, which is essentially a prevention group that works with youth all throughout the county on issues like opioid abuse, tobacco, and underage drinking. And so these youth put in lots of work. Just this past April, they presented to their peers prescription drug abuse presentation for schools from all around Atlantic County, as well as our Don't Get Vaped In Youth to Youth presentation. So they work hard, and I appreciate the Freeholder Board's recognition of their hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Young man, how old are you?
I am 15.
I want to commend you. I know my colleagues do too. That's a bold step for you to be out there among your peers, giving them such an education in this addiction. And I think we all should just give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
I expect that kind of good work from an Eagles fan. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, we appreciate it. Okay, anything else freeholders? Okay, anything from any of the other freeholders? Okay, any comments from the public? Okay, with that, we'll have a vote.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Formica?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize Bob's out there from our drug and alcohol abuse prevention area. Do you want to speak at all just to some of the things that we do as a county, some of the work that we do with regard to the opioid?
I apologize, I woke up this morning and my ears are totally clogged, so my hearing aids aren't even working.
No problem.
But we do a number of different things in the county. Just most importantly, in fact, we just finished a training this afternoon. We do the Narcan training, which is the overdose opiate reversal. For those of you who don't know, last year we had 190 suspected overdose deaths here in Atlantic County. As of August the 1st of this year, we had 82 suspected overdose deaths. Last year we had over 189,000 prescriptions for pain medication. One of the things, how did we get here is extremely important. In the 1990s, if you don't remember, they added a 5th tier to the health services out there. When you go to the doctor now, you get that little chart with the smile faces on it and ask you, what is your pain level? Well, that's when all the prescription medication hit the streets. And when we first were addressing this issue in 1996, Purdue Pharma told us that OxyContin was minimally addictive. It is the most addictive drug and most overabused drug out there on the street. And one of the things, we work in conjunction with Join Together Atlantic County and other agencies throughout the county to provide information on the opiate epidemic. We do the Narcan training, as I said. The big thing about it is this. For a number of years, we were number 4 in the state in overdose deaths. We dropped down to number 7, but as far as I know, and as far as I've been told, we still remain number 1 in the state when you look at it per capita. When you look at the number of overdose deaths as compared to population, we are number 1 in the state. So it's a battle out there that needs to be fought. It is a public health crisis and a public health epidemic. And with the resources of people like Join Together Atlantic County, our county coalition, what we have available here in the county as well, I think we're making some inroads, and I think we're making a difference. So we have also available in the county through a grant from the state, the Chapter 51 alcohol grant. We have the whole continuum of treatment sources, services rather, we address for people who are both medically and financially indigent. They either have no money or they have no insurance. We have detoxification, we have short-term residential, we have outpatient and intensive outpatient, we have halfway house services, we have recovery support services now. We also have grants that address prevention education for the youth in our communities. And as I said, with groups such as Join Together Atlantic County and a number of other agencies in the county, I think that we're making some inroads and we are making a difference. So, I thank you for asking me to get up and say a few words. I congratulate these people as you did for what they're doing out there. But we're here and we're fighting the war. So, thank you.
Thanks for the work that not only you do, but our Lakota board members are also dedicated. Our municipal alliances are out there doing work, so thank you again.
Again, I apologize, I had to move
No
back.
problem, feel better, feel better. All right, on to 579.
Resolution recognizing October 2019 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, sponsor Freeholder Amy L. Gabbard.
Second.
Motion and a second. Just from my perspective here, we're coming off the heels of Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month and now walking into Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think the message to women is know your bodies, know the symptoms, know the risks, and kind of be your own advocate from a health perspective, and make sure that we're all doing what we can to know what those symptoms are and get ourselves to the doctor to continually be checked out. I do want to mention from a county perspective, our offices will be again promoting breast cancer awareness during October by selling lapel pins, wristbands, embroidered stickers. Our Think Pink Day will be held on Friday, October 18th. And all proceeds from the sale of all these materials goes to the South Jersey chapter of the Susan G. Komen Foundation. You know, they do the work here locally for us on the breast cancer awareness site. So I just want to make mention of that. Anybody else want to comment on that?
Sure. October 13th in Ocean City is the Making Strides Breast Cancer Walk. It's at 10 a.m. on 6th and Boardwalk. I walked last year. It's a very moving experience to walk for people who unfortunately lost their fight with breast cancer, but it's even more moving to see all of the survivors come out in their sashes and walk as well. And so I encourage everybody, if you can, get out. It's a Sunday, show your support, walk.
Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, any other freeholder comments on that one? Comments from the public? Okay, well, roll call vote.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Formica?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes, and now we'll have 580.
Resolution supporting legislation requiring New Jersey schools to establish graduation policies that allow students joining a military branch to wear a sash or official articles denoting the branch of the service in which they enlisted. Sponsor Freeholder Amy L. Gatto.
Second. Motion and second. Again, I'll just make a quick comment on this. So this was brought to our attention after a student was denied the ability to wear his sash at a school. We sent it to the Veterans Advisory Board to have their discussion on it, and they unanimously supported this. And it's basically our way of saying, you know, let's let people be proud of joining our military services and then wear those sashes proudly at their graduation ceremonies. Any other freeholder comments on that?
I just have a question.
Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
I support the resolution. I went to read the legislation online. It's A5799, but I couldn't find it. I don't believe it has yet been introduced.
Okay. Not aware of that.
So I wonder if we, would we wait for that to be introduced before we vote on that?
I mean, I don't think we indicated we're supporting the,
Support
Yeah,
legislation?
you're not supporting any particular legislation at this point in time. If you read the language of the now therefore, what you're actually doing is supporting legislation to accomplish it. At the time that we were notified about this, we only understood that it was being drafted by these two assemblymen, not that there was something actually pending in the legislature, but apparently forthcoming.
this is simply stating we're in support of high school graduates being allowed to wear military sashes and other items that identify the branch of the military that they're entering. That's basically what it's meant to say.
Not supporting an actual bill yet.
No, I mean, I guess we could strike that from the title. I think that's the only time legislation is actually referenced.
Well, it's also referenced in the closing now therefore, but it doesn't read wrong. It's in support of legislation such as drafted by the aforementioned assemblyman is the way it reads. it's been drafted, but it hasn't been introduced. It doesn't mean that you can't pass it as is, in a logical sense as is.
Yeah, okay. Freeholder Meeting.
I think that it actually will support moving the legislation forward. I think it's a very good thing to do as many young men and women decide to take their step into the military and defend this country. So I don't see anything wrong with the resolution as it stands.
And
Madam
then-
Chair,
Freeholder Corsi.
I'm not a lawyer, and I'm gonna ask Roger. I don't think it's a bad resolution. I just don't know why we can't add language urging the legislators to move forward to passing it.
Oh, of course you can do that.
Right? I mean, I
Yeah,
think,
of course you can.
because I agree with my colleague, it has not been passed through the we can urge them in this resolution to do so. I think it's the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe that a school would not allow a student to
Yeah, to me, it's freedom of expression.
right, and not only that, I mean, we allow so much foolishness to happen in our schools anyway.
Yeah.
This is something positive, and for any school district to do that, I just had a flashback when Frank Famika graduated college. He was able to wear his attire with his bakery hat on, and it was appropriate. But my point is that even when people graduate, they have all their different fraternities on there, and so why can't the kids wear
Yeah.
that stuff at graduation at high schools? So I think we need to add the, if you have no objection to it, that we need to add urging the legislators to move.
What you can
on
do,
this,
what you can do is just add the words, "and urging such legislation," right at the end of the now therefore clause where it says, New Jersey schools to establish graduation policies that allow students joining the military branch to wear official articles such as a sash that denotes the branch of service in which they enlisted, and urging such legislation. That right there.
Good,
I
good.
don't make a motion.
That's fine.
I'll second it.
So,
I had one more.
Oh, okay.
And then can we send it to the superintendent sometimes?
Sure. Do we?
we have a bunch of them here?
I don't think
No.
it's that.
Yeah, we should, yeah.
Very good.
Okay, you got that, Rob?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
All right, so we have a motion,
amended.
we have an amended motion and a second on the table. Any other freeholder comments on that? Okay, any comments from the public as amended?
I didn't expect to get up for this. I didn't know it was on the agenda. But as a disabled Vietnam-era veteran, I'd like to say that, you know, it took us many, many years to recognize veterans past and present. And I've seen this done in other states. I've seen it done on college campuses. And I think it's absolutely wonderful for this Freeholder Board to even consider this resolution. You know, these young people who are giving of their lives and joining the military are just to be commended and should be recognized. So again, as a disabled Vietnam-era veteran, I thank you very much for just considering the resolution.
We thank you. Okay, any other?
Did you rise in support of?
Madam Chair, to answer Freeholder Corsi's question, I would think all of us would be in support of the practice. And I was somewhat stunned to see the principal at Point Pleasant High School, in essence, say they couldn't figure out the difference between allowing it for a kid going into the Marines versus someone who would want to wear the Bloods or the Crips or something else. That isn't what he said. But when he says, I'd have to allow the one and allow the other, you know, allow something else, one has to wonder, we would have discretion and should be able to figure those things out. But there are some other factual things here. There are 3 primary sponsors of that bill, which has not yet actually been introduced. One of whom is actually from Burlington County, but representing District 8, which does include Hamilton. And I know sometimes we like to joke about Hamilton and all that, but
Hamilton.
Bertino's serious about Hamilton.
I know. But perhaps something should be, instead of it saying two Monmouth County Assembly people, which of the 3, one is Passaic, one is Burlington, and one is Monmouth. Again, perhaps there should be some sort of correction there, but also, most of the time when you're considering these types of things, it is actually sent to
Yes.
all of the legislators, so that also is not, the urging is there, but not the actual communicating, because there's not going to be a session of the legislature until after election day. So that may be something to consider, but also, one wrinkle, and again, this is where not having the legislation in front, there are some religious traditions, and since this would be applying to all high schools, that do have strong beliefs regarding pacifism and therefore issues with military service, and they may wind up with some sort of objection. I would personally disagree with that objection, but again, when we have freedom of religion, that means people have the right to say whatever. So I'm not sure where that ultimately may well fit in as this goes forward, but otherwise I just wanted to lift that up. Thank you.
All right, any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, we'll have a roll call vote.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino.
Yes.
Coursey,
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Formica,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Gatto.
Yes. Okay, 581.
Resolution amending Resolution 3, 2019, canceling the regular meeting of October 8, 2019, and informing the newspapers.
Motion is second. Freeholder comments?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to cancel the meeting. I need another 6 o'clock meeting. We're gonna move this meeting to 6 o'clock. I'm not gonna vote for it. I think we should keep the meeting on the 8th, and I think we should have it at 6 o'clock. And, what?
Let's move all to 6.
Don't want me taking the Hammond.
That's the end where you want to go.
All right. Any more substantive comments?
Yeah,
That's
that's
Well, Frank,
So
let Frank get you in trouble.
Just fill in the shoes, all
'Cause
right?
he was waiting to start.
Any other freeholder comments on that? Okay, any comments from the public on that? Okay, roll call vote.
Bennett,
Yes.
Bertino,
Yes.
Coursey,
You're doing
Yes.
Days,
Yes.
Fitzpatrick,
Yes.
Formica,
Yes.
Kern,
Yes.
Risley,
Yes.
and Gatto.
Yes, and 582.
Bid contract with El Fariazzi Concrete Company for roadway widening of Jimmy Leach Road, County Route 561, Section 3, in the Township of Galloway, amount not to exceed $3,708,810.08.
Moved.
Motion and the second. Freeholder comments on that one?
Yes.
Long awaited. Freeholder Days.
Chairwoman, if I can. Obviously, this is not a, well, I was going to say simple resurfacing, not that any road is, you guys have learned, is always simple. But there was a lot involved in this process, and I've been there to kind of push it and see it through. I mean, we're talking about safety for pedestrians crossing after that tragic accident. They had to go back and redesign it. Drainage concerns, Stockton had input, the hospital had input about the intersection. So, you know, when I say frustrating, I mean, you know, dealing with this almost on a daily basis. I mean, it's been that. And I'm just very happy, thrilled that this is moving forward. And I'm gonna keep this going.
All right. Sounds
Madam
good.
Chair.
Yes, Freeholder Courtesy.
$3 million. I'm gonna support the resolution because I realize how bad Jimmy Lee Road is at. But I'm only gonna support it if you're gonna tell me that it's gonna actually go from Route 9 to the Pike. Because that Jimmy Lee Road is disgusting. A lot of work was just done on Jimmy Lee's Road between the shopping center and 6th Avenue. So Jerry, how far does this go?
This is about a mile. It's from the Parkway going west to the college, King Ferris. Right.
I'm going to support it. That is, has to be
Yes,
one
it
of the
is.
worst roads
And most heavily
being out
traveled.
there.
Yeah.
However, let me take a dab, Jerry, but because I wasn't going to do this, I'm going to do it today. I have been accused of potholes on streets, and far from the truth. The point I'm really making is that is there any way that the county and the city of Atlantic City can coexist in terms of going after the state or the feds for monies to pave a multitude of streets in Atlantic City, whether it's Atlantic Avenue, whether it's New York Avenue, and I'm sure you ride down some of these streets and you like, you still got a front end. The fact is that, is it any way the county in conjunction with the city tried to get some kind of grant money from the state or the feds? Because the last meeting I was in with, and Jim was with me, the lieutenant governor said there's monies available, and that she was surprised that Atlantic City and Atlantic County had not tapped into these funds. The real question is, where are the funds located at? Could they be moved around? And that has nothing to do with this project, but since we're talking about paving, I might as well take my shot at it.
Well, you asked me the last time after the commission meeting, and I have spoken with the assistant commissioner and said, you know, Freeholder, of course, he's already asked this. Lieutenant Governor made reference to the fact that there's monies out there. So he says it's his task to find out where those monies are. There's a meeting tomorrow that Jim is going to.
I'll be at the meeting tomorrow too.
To discuss some of these issues. And I've written him and I've spoken with him, you know, blah. So that's part of the task, I guess the task, commission, I think they call it, as opposed to a task force, or whatever.
Not a commission, but yeah.
So they're working on, they're supposed to work on that, and I guess, you know, through Jimmy, he'll bring it back, and I guess we'll work our way through this.
Yeah. I mean, it didn't have nothing to do with this particular resolution, but I figured I'd just add it in.
Okay. So
Say something.
let's go back to Galloway. Any other questions on Galloway?
Oh, Galloway.
Okay.
It's extensive work. I've given Freeholder days, the scope of services, it's very extensive.
Much needed.
Lot of concrete work. There's a pipe that runs, you know, runs there, it's like a 48-inch pipe. There's all new grading, bicycle type of grading. There's a lot of work.
Freeholder days, go
So,
ahead.
yeah, thank you, I just want to add, I mean, that drainage was what was a major holdup, I think, with the Highlands Commission, you know, asking for the color of the soil samples.
Yes.
It used to be
Yes.
just give them the chart showing the color. And this road, I mean, I may be wrong, it's probably unlike any other county road. I mean, it's in Galloway Township. It's Stockton increased their, you know, the number of the traffic, the hospital increased the traffic, Atlantic Care added offices down Chris Gal. I mean, the Highlands Commission is involved. I mean, and the use of the road, it's not the normal wear and tear on any other county road.
You ain't gotta tell, we're gonna
So,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so there's a lot into this scope of work, and it's not just a simple resurfacing.
Thanks. Freeholder Bettina?
Just one
Are you
other.
gonna talk about Hamilton or?
No, just
settle this one.
Okay.
Just one other thing about this road, because we've talked about this before. Whenever we do these kind of projects that are very involved, the public is going to be calling you on, yelling at you, why are you doing this project now? Can't you do it at a different time next year? So I'm just letting everybody know it's extensive, it's going to disrupt everyone in the area. Some of the businesses may be temporarily impacted, but it'll be necessary, and when it's done, it'll be beautiful. But I'm just letting everybody know, because
Yeah.
they call us all the time
But you know
asking
what?
those kind of questions. So.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Brandon.
Freeholder Formica.
Can I go to Atlantic City? Because I
Which way you
think,
wanna go?
I'm just saying that, you know, your question's very legitimate about Atlantic City, and I think the best way, the best person to get to is whoever the leader of that task force is.
Well, it's not Danny.
I know that.
Okay, back to the topic, guys.
So the point is.
Any other comments on this
Oh, yeah,
project?
yeah, because Jim's right. The question I really have, and it's, are the businesses, et cetera, being notified that this is gonna be taking place?
Yes,
Yeah, they were hollering already, so.
yes.
They'll still holler.
They were hollering already.
We had that problem on Washington Avenue,
Yes.
even though they were notified.
Yeah. Okay, anything else from the board?
How long is it gonna take?
It's a long time.
How long, Jared?
This will probably be
7 months.
6 to 7 months. I think, I mean, I've seen the schedule, let me say, the schedule ends in July, but that's all of the, what do you call it, that have to be done. All the final work orders, to make sure that they do all of the paving correctly. There's at least 2 months worth of final work, but I would tell you, all the bills should be in by, I would say, April, May.
Okay. Any other freeholder questions? Comments from the public on that one? Okay, roll call vote.
Bennett?
Yes.
Bertino?
Yes.
Corsi?
Yes.
Days?
Yes.
Fitzpatrick?
Yes.
Formica?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
Risley?
Yes.
And Gatto.
Yes. Okay, that concludes our printed agenda, reports of special committees of the board. Any reports from anybody? Okay, seeing none, any unfinished business? Okay, seeing none, any new business? Seeing none, any written communications, petitions? I just want to mention, we did get, I don't know, you guys let me know if you got it, but I can't see who they sent it to, but we did get an email from a group called Hope Now that is informing us of a free mortgage and housing resource event taking place in Pleasantville. They're partnering with several mortgage servicers and HUD-approved nonprofit housing counseling agencies on an event to assist potential homeowners as well as existing mortgage holders in need of assistance. And the event is free, face-to-face, and they asked if we could help promote the event. It's on Thursday, October 17th from 3 to 8 at the Winsun Center. Am I saying that right? Okay. South New Road, Pleasantville. There is a Facebook event out there that you can find. Did everybody get this? Or did it? Okay, all right. Okay, so I just wanted to
You know where
mention
Mount
that.
Zion Baptist Church is, it's right adjacent to it.
Okay. All right, any other written communications or petitions?
Madam Chair, I thought that our chairwoman was going to mention that the committee met with the county superintendents today.
Yes, we did.
I thought you were to sleep already.
Vice Chairwoman?
Yes, we did have our first meeting, and it was very well attended. I think only one, like I said, it was the only one that did not attend, you know, they could have had a conflict, whatever. So it was very well attended. We're getting some good feedback from them, and we'll be reporting on the full meeting shortly. But we're waiting for some information back from them to see what we can do moving forward.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let's open it up to the public. Any public comments? Yes, sir.
Good evening. James Reyna, 2308 Oak Avenue here in Northfield. I'm here not only as a county resident, but also as a high school principal within Atlantic County for 10 years. First off, if I could jump back real quickly to number 580. There are a couple of companies in this state who do nothing but draft policies for school districts. So if they have not already started, they will create a model policy for districts to follow that will take into account the legal perspectives of both inclusion and exclusion. So the concerns about religious expression and identity and freedom versus First Amendment rights will all be vetted out by attorneys who work with the Department of Ed ahead of time. So high schools, if they haven't already started receiving the districts, we will be receiving shortly policies that we just basically cut and paste our name on top of to address these issues, just so you all can be confident with that.
Thanks.
Knowing that, so I'm currently the principal of Oakcrest High School. Prior to that, I was the principal of Cedar Creek High School. I was fortunate enough to build it and open it and run it for 6 years. I'm in my 4th year back at Oakcrest High School after I asked to transfer back there from Cedar Creek. There are sometimes at a building level, we are fortunate enough in that we get to avoid politics and we get to focus on students and education and communities. And there are a couple of concerns in talking to not only the 3 principals within Greater Egg, or the 2 other principals and myself within Greater Egg, but also when talking to some of the other high school principals. There are some other concerns that we, as those who are day-to-day running the high schools in the county, have, specifically related to ACIT and some of their acceptance application and acceptance policies and procedures. The 2 chief among those, number 1, special education students being admitted to ACIT. And being in Oakcrest High School, it's predominantly a Hamilton Township school, but I can say unequivocally the percentages of special education students who are accepted are vastly inferior to regular education students that are accepted into ACIT. And considering the push that both the state and federal government has taken over the last decade for least restrictive environment and inclusion of educational opportunity for special education students, when only 1 or 2 out of 75 special education students from Hamilton Township get in to ACIT, that's concerning. When almost 1/3 of the regular education students do. So that percentage is alarming to many of us as high school principals, especially again when you're talking about an entity like ACIT that is publicly funded. The second issue is the idea that within this application process, discipline or conduct or behavior, whatever word you want to use, is utilized and taken into account. And there's 2 or 3 significant factors that I think should be of concern for that. Number one, there are 17 or 18 public middle schools in this county. So for discipline or conduct or behavior to be an aspect of ACIT's admission process, there is no way to ensure there is any level of similarity being applied to behavior issues across those 17 or 18 entities. There is no common code that states this is how we're going to tag something, this is what we're going to call something, this is what the consequences of the repercussions are going to be. Certainly there are legal issues, but every district creates their own code of conduct, and then every building imparts that code of conduct individually. So one of the concerns many of us at the public high school level have is students may conduct an event in 2 or 3 different community middle schools, and because of how it's called and how it's tagged, those 3 students' futures are vastly differently impacted. And that's a concern. Students could be being denied an opportunity in one community simply because of the words that were chosen in that discipline referral. Does that make sense? And so as ACIT sits back and says, we're going to use discipline as one of our parts of admission, we don't know, first off, we don't know as a high school principal, I don't know what weight they're giving discipline. Does discipline override grades? Does discipline override attendance? Is it the least important? We don't know where that is. But again, the concern is even among 17 or 18 public middle schools, the uniformity in how discipline is being applied is a concern. The second issue, it really is, anybody that works with adolescents realizes that often discipline or conduct comes from boredom or a lack of interest. So it's really concerning to think that students who could be sitting in middle schools dying to use their hands, dying to use a different part of their brains or different skill sets are acting up in ways that could be negatively impacting them getting to a place that is supposed to specifically be designed for you to use that different part of your brain or your hands. Does that make sense? So that's another concern many of us at the high school level have. And again, as a principal, I'm fortunate enough to be able to stay usually out of the political fray. But those are things that I know when many of the high school principals in the county get together, and we have our next meeting coming up in 2 weeks, those are some of the concerns that we struggle with, is lack of information getting back to us on where special ed and discipline weigh in the application and acceptance process, and also the way in which, because you're dealing with so many different middle schools, the way all that information can be transferred in different ways to the county school. So I would just like to share that.
Thanks, Lorena. Freeholder Chris.
If I may, what's your name, sir?
James Reyna, R-E-I-N-A.
Nice to meet you.
He's
We
the
were just,
Oakcrest principal, so go easy. Okay, it's my high school.
did he replace your mom?
No.
Okay.
Although her mom, in all fair disclosure, her mom hired me as a history teacher 18 years ago.
Smart. Go ahead.
All jokes aside, sir, as you had indicated, we had a committee meeting today. Our chair can speak on it more. We met with your superintendent today. We met with all the superintendents in Atlantic County,
I know.
with the exception of Atlantic City. They didn't even have a representative here, and I don't know what happened, but they agreed that they would come in. And some of these issues were brought up. So as you explained to us, because we began to ask some of those questions today because it was raised by other superintendents, and of course the elephant in the room is ACIT. And so there's a lot going on, and my colleagues can tell me if I'm wrong, we were taking to school today too because we've gotten a lot of information that probably we was not privy to or knew about. And it all kind of came out of a letter that came from Greater Egg Harbor Regional, talked about some stuff at ACIT. We're hoping that the superintendents, and we suggested that they get back to our chairperson, that give us suggestions and recommendations. We talked about funding, It talked about the process of how you, whether you get accepted in the ACIT or not, discipline action, the whole, we asked those questions today.
Good.
So what
Thank
happened is, our vice chair, who chairs the education committee, have asked that we reconvene within the next couple of weeks. Since you're having a meeting, it couldn't have been better timing. You can forward all those questions to your superintendent. We hope that he makes that a part of his package, or at least his recommendation back to us. It gives us some more meat and potatoes to talk to Senator Sweeney and others, even the Commissioner of Education, about a number of things.
Absolutely.
We have been taking the school, as I said, because a lot has come to our attention. But I want to be very clear. ACIT is a county high school.
Absolutely.
Whether we like it or not. There's some good and some pros and cons to it. But I think that there's enough educators that was in this room today that they can work together to try to see what fits. Me personally, I still have this problem with this application process. That's not sticking well with me. But they're giving us some information, giving us some food for thought to look at, to talk about. But we just don't want it to become a dog and pony show. This school blaming that school, and we can't get this kid and that kid. But I will tell you this, it's like a broken record. I'm never going to tell a parent to send their kid to school. They have a right to send wherever school it is. However, we've got to figure out a way to keep a number of kids in their home school district. However, if there's another school district that's providing a service for special needs, etc., we've got to make sure that that opportunity is given to that kid, because you may not make it in a regular high school. So all of those, and again, I say to be corrected if I'm wrong, and to be, we brought it back in line, but some of that same stuff you raised today, we talked about earlier, not to the extent that you did, but we talked about it.
Thank
So
you.
it's not going unheard.
Thank you.
Did you say to be brought back in line
Me.
for you?
Yeah, every now and then
Oh,
I
okay.
can, every now and then I can quote it.
Vice Chair, did you want to say something?
No, I was gonna really reiterate exactly what you were gonna say. Those things are exactly what you said, are some of the items that came up today. And we're, as soon as we get the information back, we're gonna still continue to address some of those items.
Thank you.
Yeah, and they were explained a little bit today, but we have to get into it a little bit more.
Okay. Well, thank you for the
Yeah,
interest.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your superintendent didn't send you, didn't he?
Huh?
No, I'm joking.
No.
Any other comments from the public? Okay, seeing none, close the public portion, go to the order. Go to the order. Freeholder Fitzpatrick.
Today is the second day of Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
And so this begins the 10 days before Yom Kippur, which is the Day of Atonement. So we have 10 days, get our lives in order so that we can be good to start the
I
new
think I
year.
need more than 10 days for that.
Just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Well, Happy New Year to you.
Thank you.
Freeholder Bennett?
Yes, so this past Saturday, there was the Out of Darkness Walk in Ventnor on the boardwalk, put on by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. So I just wanted to commend Hard Rock. They put together a team, and there were hundreds of people who walked. Unfortunately, I couldn't walk. I wanted to, but I had to man the crisis hotline in Cape May.
So that's pretty important too.
That is very important, yeah. So, so Hard Rock raised close to $16,000 for suicide prevention, so just wanted to bring that up.
They're a great community partner for us, for
Yes,
sure.
absolutely.
Actually, I attended that last year as well, and they doubled the numbers. I think with the
Yeah.
Hard Rock going in, they've doubled the numbers. So that's great.
Thank you, Freeholder.
Madam
Any
Chair,
other,
if I may?
yes, Freeholder, please.
Over the weekend, Stockton University did a, how do you say it?
Regatta.
Oh, regatta.
Regatta. That too. Yeah, they did that. The regatta at Blank City Boathouse. It was Stockton, it was Drexel University, St. Augustine's Prep, Holy Spirit, Atlantic City. It was a couple other schools in there for the first time, and I tell you, it was well attended.
I heard it was
The
great.
weather was great, and I think they're going to build off of that. And what an outstanding opportunity to again show off the city, but more importantly, Stockton is bringing stuff into the city, and that was a positive note. Started at 7, 1 o'clock they were done, and folks had a good time.
Yeah, I heard it was great. Thanks, Freeholder. Any
Alex
other-
Marino
spearheaded the whole thing.
Okay, any other freeholder? Yep, freeholder Risley.
I just wanted to mention the moving wall, the Vietnam moving wall will be in Uniborough on October the 3rd at 6 o'clock, and our state senator Chris Brown will be giving opening remarks, which is a half-size replica of the real one. So I want to pass that along. Also, October the 5th, Saturday, Battle of Chestnut Neck service will be at 10:30. Chestnut Neck at 10:30 on October the 5th. This was the only real battle in Atlantic County during the Revolutionary War.
Were you there?
No. My ancestors were.
Frank might have been there, right?
How many casualties?
Frank been there.
On the American side, none for sure.
Thanks.
The British came in, burned the town down.
Thank you for that. That's good. There's also a lot of really good eating happening this weekend around the county. Rigatoni dinner and brigantine, turkey dinner at Germania Firehouse. And there's a ton happening all weekend. So yeah, Oktoberfest.
A lot of red bacon there.
A lot of fall activities happening in Atlantic County. I just want to make mention, today, 31 years ago, we lost my uncle Philip to a drunk driving accident. And we walk in his honor at the Hero Walk every October. And so just want to make the reminder, Hero Walk is October 20th this year. And we would happy to have anybody join us who would like to walk, but I just wanted to kind of honor his memory today. He lived with us when I was a kid. He was the fun uncle. So I always miss him.
That's called Ocean City.
Ocean City, yeah. Anything else for good of the order? Okay, take a motion to adjourn. Motion and a second, okay.
Did come out.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.